Well, good evening, everybody. Yes. Good evening, jammers, and welcome to episode 42 of the Jams and Cocktails live podcast. My name is Brad Brock, and I'll be your host tonight. With me, as always, is the show-stopping Miss Jordan Taylor.
Show-stopping.
Hi,
everyone. Happy Wednesday.
And joining us via Skype all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, is our friend and special guest this evening, singer-songwriter Jamie Floyd.
Hello, everybody. I'm here.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us live tonight on Facebook and YouTube. And thank you to those of you catching the replay or listening in later on your favorite podcast platform like iHeartRadio or Spotify. Wherever you're tuning in, please like our pages and share our streams and subscribe to our channels. We've got a fun show for you this evening. In addition to catching up with Jamie, we'll take a peek inside the JORDY files. We'll play a round of Name That Tune with all of you at home. We'll get our midweek motivation on with Tony ESPINOSA, and we'll put Jamie through the Lipton Tea. But first, let's kick things off with our shot of the week. All right. We got a pretty simple but fun one here for you tonight, you guys. So it is the Tootsie Roll Shooter, and it is 1 part creme de coco, 1 part coffee liqueur of your choice. Of course, tonight we are using Kimura and orange juice. We are using Indian River Select. That's right. The best orange juice on earth. We're using that tonight. Of course, you shake it in ice and serve cold, but it ain't the butterfly, it's the Tootsie Roll.
It ain't the butterfly, it's the Tootsie Roll.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I worked really hard on that today. Very
Are
excited.
you going to make your Tootsie Roll?
Oh, that Tootsie Roll.
It ain't the butterfly, it's the Tootsie Roll.
Oh, my.
Oh, boy. Well, cheers to all of you tuning in. Cheers to you, Jamie, for joining us.
Cheers.
And cheers to you, Jordan, for holding down the lounge with me tonight. It's awful lonely in here.
Thank you, yeah. It is. Quite spacious.
That, you know what? The orange juice, that's the key.
It's so crazy.
It's clutch. So we didn't have OJ last night to make the shot. So we used like a Mike's Hard tangerine drink, and it wasn't the same. But we used OJ today, and that was really good.
Crazy combination.
Yeah, we'll give that an applause.
Yeah, I think it's a clap.
I could definitely drink that like all day long.
Tummy ache for sure.
Oh,
Delish.
man. Well, you guys, before we get into our conversation tonight, I'd like to give you a little backstory. But before we do that, we got so many comments, Jamie.
Oh, yes.
Straight away through the intro. So we're going to go through them really quick. Bobby Sue Bresmer said, "Hi, Jamie and Joanne." Jessica Bresmer said, "Hi, Aunt Jamie. Mom is letting me stay up late. Love, Alyssa." Let's see. Jen Hyde said, "Yeah, midweek with Jamie Floyd." She's tuning in on YouTube. So
Awesome.
right already. Well, you guys, again, before we get into our conversation tonight, I'd like to give you guys a little backstory. So Jamie and I met back in 2001 at an event at the Meyer Amphitheater in West Palm Beach, Florida, for those of you out of Florida. And it was benefiting the victims of 9/11, which, of course, had just happened that year. So the event was sponsored by our local country radio station, WIRK. And Jamie and I were both performing that night. When I heard her sing for the first time, I was completely blown away. And we've been friends since, and I've had the privilege of following her career all these years. And I'm so happy to finally get to chat with you about all the amazing adventures you've had along the way. You guys,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, she's a Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter, and her music is featured in television, motion pictures, and on Broadway, or at least coming soon. She's written songs that have appeared on numerous major label releases for artists such as Ashley Monroe, Ronnie Dunn, Kesha, Miranda Lambert, Kelly Pickler, and more. I'd be here all night if I was listing everybody. She's an incredible artist with an unwavering resolve, and we're happy to have her here as our special guest tonight. You guys, check out Jamie Floyd. Jamie, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you guys. Brad, thank you so much for having me. We go way back. I love it. It's really great to get to catch up with you.
Seriously, I mean, we've had conversations over the years, and of course, you know, you took off to Nashville pretty early on, but we've stayed in touch all this time, and it's just crazy because we both grew up performing music and doing music, whatever that means, doing music. But people, that's what we do, right? And on such different paths, and yet we were able to, living in the social media age, we were able to kind of keep it together, which is so great. So how have you been?
I have been so good. I have really tried to make the most of, I think as we all are, of the situation we've all been in this year. And honestly, it's things that I never saw coming, and all kinds of cool new dreams have materialized. And so I've just kind of been walking through every open door, and it's been a really great year. I just got engaged too, so that
Yeah. We love love.
Yeah.
Yay.
Love.
So it's been a really special, memorable year that I'll never forget. Obviously, we have some sad reasons that we'll never forget this year, but for me, I'm choosing to just be thankful for all the good, unexpected things that have come. And I mean, I got to tour in Alaska in June, which is one of the most amazing experiences. I know we'll talk about, I got to shoot a music video. I got to play the Grand Ole Opry this year. I mean, of all the years of my career, I never thought that all these just moments that I've dreamed of would come in a year where everything was turned completely upside down. But maybe it makes sense. I feel like my whole career, my whole trajectory has always been very unconventional and unexpected. And so this year has definitely stayed true to that.
No kidding.
That theme.
So we have you to blame for that, clearly. For all of this.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I like to start off most of my interviews with pretty much the same question. What made you decide that music was what you wanted to do for a living? And who or what were your influences when you started getting into everything?
Sure. What made me decide to want to do this for a living was probably, it started with my parents. I'm from West Palm Beach, Florida, and I know you guys are down there, and that's my hometown, and I grew up watching them play music, and I grew up singing with them with their band, and from as far back as I can remember, I was on stage, and so it felt like a very a very easy transition, and I loved it. I loved it from the very beginning, and I was really lucky. When I was around 11 years old, I got offered a record deal with Epic Records in New York, and so I got a really early start.
Wow.
No kidding.
I loved it that much more. You know, as I got to start doing it professionally, I just fell in love with it, and I really knew that was supposed to be my path. I didn't know what exactly I was going to do. I always wanted to be a singer. Fun fact, I never set out to be a songwriter. That was something I didn't even know what songwriting was. Because my parents were live performers. You know, I knew how to be on stage. I knew about singing. I knew these incredible records my parents introduced me to as a kid. Really eclectic, by the way. So I remember, you know, my mom playing me early on George Strait and Dolly and Kenny Rogers records. But then my dad would like play George Benson and Stevie Ray Vaughan and like Anita Baker and all these incredible jazz artists just all over the place, And so I knew I loved voices and I knew I loved stories. But as I kind of got thrown into the music business, I learned that I had some other avenues that I was able to do. And I kind of stumbled upon the fact that I could write songs, and I started to develop that. And so I don't know, I credit it with my parents first and foremost. And then all of those albums, those early albums, listening to George Strait really made me fall in love with songwriting and all those Dean Dylan songs that George Strait sang. Yeah, that's what really got me into it. Honestly, I didn't set out to be a songwriter, but the songs are what pulled me in. So
I feel like that's a pretty common, even for a listener, when you get those story songs that pull you in, and just country music seems to be such a sponge for story songs. It's like the last frontier for story songs, really, in pop music anyway, or like radio music. Well, 11 years old is pretty young to be offered a record deal. So tell me about that process and that whole experience when that came across your table.
Yeah, so if everybody remembers Taylor Dayne, "Tell it to my heart, tell me how," back in the day, my Uncle Rick played keyboards for her, and so my whole family is always musicians. My grandfather, Sonny, everybody always played music, and my uncle was in Taylor's band. And fast forward 10 years later, they still knew all the record label executives who kind of launched Taylor Dayne. And my grandfather, Sonny, who, like I said, this year has been full of ups and downs, and unfortunately he passed away this year, but he was just my greatest champion. And because of my grandfather, Sonny, he called up one of the record label presidents, the record label president that he had met. And when his son, my uncle, was playing for Taylor Dayne, and said, "I got this granddaughter in Nashville who sings. You got to hear her." And kind of like a fairy tale, lightning struck, and I flew up to New York. I was a little girl. They flew me up there. They heard some demos that I made at a studio, I think off of like Lake Worth Road, like way back in the day, like singing a karaoke tracks with Dixie Chicks and Leanne Rimes. And they heard those. They flew me and my mom up to New York, and I was offered a record deal on that trip. And it was just a whirlwind from then on. So from around 11 years old to 17, I was a professional singer. That's how I was thrown into it. And I also signed a publishing deal at that point, and which means, you are meant to write songs, and that's part of your job too. And I didn't even know what that was, but I started writing songs, and that's kind of, they started flying us to Nashville. So even though the record deal was out of New York, they started bringing me to Nashville because they knew that's what I wanted to do. So and this, Brad, you and I were playing a bunch of shows together, back in the day. So Brad and I played all these same festivals in Florida, all the same stages, all the, there's a circuit in every town and every area.
Absolutely.
So those very well. And so while I was in Florida, playing, tons of live shows, I was being flown back and forth to Nashville, where I started to learn that I learned how to write songs, but I also learned that I was a songwriter just kind of naturally. And so everything kind of escalated from there. I was in that record deal up until when September 11th happened, Brad, right around when we met officially. That September 11th, as it stopped the whole world, as we all know, it definitely changed things for me business wise. And I was offered a pop deal by the record label in New York, and I actually turned it down because I didn't want to pretend to be something I wasn't. And I wasn't, the type of pop singer they wanted me to be, like, kind of
right.
Like super, like super
Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, and I have obviously so much respect for those artists. I mean, but it just wasn't me, and it wasn't what I did, and I wanted to be a part of country music, and I knew that Even back then, I knew I had a really strong feeling that that's where I was supposed to be. And so that's what got me to move to Nashville. So when September 11th happened, I lost my record deal a short time later, and I moved to Nashville when I was 17, turning 18. And that is kind of what really kick-started everything. I had come to Nashville, just like it was weird because everybody moves to Nashville to get a record deal, to start their career. And I was coming out of what everybody moves here to do. And so it was a really hard place to be in at 17, starting over at 17.
It's wild. You know? It's such like a reverse experience, like you said, that most people... most people show up there looking for these things, and you were there as like coming out of the flames, per se, or the ashes rather.
Yeah,
which is wild.
Definitely.
And I mean, still 17 years old, so young, to go to that city, man. That's I mean, I've heard horror stories. We had a guy just a couple weeks ago, Jason Ambrose from the Buck Wild Band back in the day. But he was giving me his whole Nashville experience up there, and it's a crazy city. But you have stuck it out for so little. How long have you been in Nashville now?
I have hung in. So I've been doing business in Nashville here, working since my first trip. The first time I flew here was in 2000. So I've been working here for 20 years, but I've been in the music business closer to 25. You know, before they finally flew me to Nashville, I was working in New York a lot.
Right.
But I've been working in Nashville for 20 solid years. And, you know, you hear a lot of songs and a lot of stories from people who've moved to Nashville and who've made it happen, that say, oh, it's a 10-year town. Oh, it's a, however many years.
Right.
And I'm here to tell you that it's your story is your story. And for me, I really started seeing all of my sacrifices and all of my hard work really start to materialize in the last, about 8 years. And so it took me a really long time, but I attribute that to the fact that I would not compromise. I wouldn't compromise my integrity, my morals, my music, the quality of my music. And sometimes that makes things take longer, but for me, that was worth it.
Good things come to those who wait, and sometimes taking your time to create masterpieces is what it's all about. And like you said, and like I had mentioned, your unwavering resolve is a something that I've admired for many, many years following your career. And it was like every time you were climbing the ladder and you got a rung taken out, you just kept climbing. That's so motivating. It really, really, truly is. So
Thanks.
Coming around that 8-year bend, you I guess let's jump right into it. Let's talk about The Blade. That was clearly a turning point for you as a writer, considering that particular song was nominated, or that record, the title track to that record was nominated for a Grammy, which is so impressive. So tell me about The Blade.
Oh, thank you for saying all of that. I appreciate it. The Blade was certainly a song that changed my that definitely was an arrow in the path, and it really marked the beginning of something just really. Hold on one second. Okay. It was something that really marked a change in my career, and I just am a big believer that dreams don't have expiration dates. And The Blade was a song that I had written when I had just been dropped out of my latest publishing deal. And I felt like, gosh, that I didn't feel like anybody believed in me but me back at that point. But I kept going, and I got a job in a restaurant again, and I just kept writing full time and paying myself to write full time when nobody else would. And I took a chance on myself, and I wrote that song with Mark Beeson and Alan Shamblin, but Alan Shamblin wrote my favorite song, "I Can't Make You Love Me," that Bonnie Raitt first made famous. And so it was a really crazy full circle thing to even get to write a song with someone like that, And And he and Mark really believed in me, and we wrote the song. And I actually started to record it for my album, and it actually got passed around to a few other really great artists here in Nashville. Finally, we got the call that Ashley Monroe had recorded it, and that Miranda Lambert sang on it with her, and that Vince Gill had produced it. And there I was waiting tables, and I remember I was holding a tray of beers at my job. And for those of you who have waited tables, usually keep your phone in your apron and try not to get caught with it.
Absolutely.
But I was waiting tables, and I was like at the well at the bar picking up my drinks to run my drinks. And I felt my phone go off, and I'm holding the tray, and I look at my phone, and it was from CSAC, who is my performing rights organization here, and just part of my business team. And they sent me a text saying, "Congratulations on the Grammy nomination." And I was like, "What?"
Amazing. Oh my God.
It was like, I remember the next day there was a press release with like celebrating like Nashville's Grammy nominees, and in the release they had the pictures of like 5 of us, and next to me was Bob Dylan. I was like, what is happening? Does everyone know I'm waiting tables? Who let me in here? And so it was this huge thing to happen to somebody who felt like they were forgotten a little bit, and but it really made me feel like, yes, you can do this, and you don't have to have a deal, and you don't have to have all of the regular things that society and the music business tell you that you need to succeed. You have to write the best songs, and you have to put your heart into them, and you have to believe in yourself, and anything can happen. And that song was the proof of that. And then when it got nominated, we found out that it was going to be in the televised version of the show, because there's so many nominees and nominations that they can't show everything, right? And we found out we were going to be in the televised part of the show, which was insane. And I got to watch that night. And what was even more magical is everything started snowballing. So once The Blade was nominated, then all kinds of other things happened, including that I got to be a part of a new documentary called The Last Songwriter. And so while I'm watching the Grammys, I'm being filmed for this documentary that was following my journey as this Grammy-nominated waitress. And so it's so special that we have that on video and captured, And so I just really, it was a really magical thing, and it changed my life. And it also was so special because they also tell you in the music business that you can't get an outside cut, that you're not going to get any success with a sad song, all these things that are kind of against the grain. And it was the saddest song ever, and it was the only song on Ashley Monroe's record that she didn't write, and she made it the title track. And it just goes to show that songs that really move people and other artists kind of get through the gates, And
That's so
so
true.
I've just constantly got through the gates.
Well, I tell you, it really is the best time, I think, for independent musicians, independent songwriters, and independent publishers. Jason Isbell is a great example of that as well. Publishing his own tunes and being successful. So let's talk a little bit about The Last Songwriter. I actually just watched it again. As soon as it was done years ago, I watched it as well. But I watched it again just to refresh myself, and was kind of like, I don't know, as time progresses and your brain grows, I guess. I like to think my brain grows from time to time. But watching it again was a cool experience to hear the stories again and hear the struggle again, and I thought it was very cool because they went from top tier Hall of Fame songwriters and performers like Garth Brooks, who was involved in that, Amy Lou Harris, who's an absolute living legend, and just down to like, you have all these guys that have been writing for 30 years, 40 years, and then they feature you as you are the poster girl of the struggling songwriter coming up through the ranks in Nashville. And it was so moving and such a real story to hear and see. That I don't know how many people have seen this film, but clearly with the outcome of the Modern Music Act or Modern Music Modernization Act being signed into law in 2018, clearly it made an impact on some important people. So, but before I get into that, tell me about that whole process of doing the documentary and being a part of that story, which was so cool.
Sure, yeah. When we were filming it, they truly were following me and following what was happening to me with the Grammy nomination and then working at the restaurant. And we had originally come together to make that documentary to help educate not only our lawmakers and all the powers that be that were involved with helping to change the legislation that was pretty outdated compared to how technology and everything has advanced, to where we make money differently, in music now, but the laws didn't quite reflect that yet, and they hadn't caught up. So we made that documentary to help with that, but also to kind of give people a look, just everybody, whether you're in the music business or not, but just fans of music, which I think almost everybody is, just a look into what happens behind the scenes and how music really isn't free, and that there are all these people working really hard and coming together to make all of this music and everything that you hear, and to just kind of be able to trace back to the source. And the source is the songwriter, and which is why we called it The Last Songwriter. And you can watch the documentary for free on lastsongwriter.com. And like you said, it has Garth Brooks and Emmylou Harris, and it was really exciting to share my story in real time as it was happening, and then to have Garth Brooks and Jason Isbell and heroes of mine talking, in one scene, and then you see me in like a dumpster at my job in the next scene, like breaking down boxes at a restaurant. It was just so surreal to hear like Garth Brooks doing, voiceovers while I'm mopping a restaurant was really surreal, but also it was so special to me because it showed that even though I wasn't necessarily taking the path that you think, oh, it's so glamorous. Oh, she has a Grammy nomination. She must be living on top of the world. And you see what was really happening and what paying your dues really looks like. Even when you've reached heights that most people would think is I don't know, that reached a height that you would think, oh gosh, they're doing it. Yeah, they're doing it, but they may also be doing something else is kind of what we showed. And so it was just a really magical experience, and working with NSAI here, who lobbies on behalf of songwriters and our rights in Washington. It was really special to get to go lobby in Washington and to have this documentary and get in front of our lawmakers and show them what's really happening. It made me feel like my story was for a reason, that this ridiculous story could maybe help change the future for songwriters like me,
Yeah, and got a couple photos here of this is you in the U.S. Library of Congress.
Yeah. Yep, that's me playing for the Librarian of Congress and the staff, and that was such a crazy day. It was amazing. I've like sat with Orrin Hatch and played songs with him. I've been in so many different offices and got to meet so many really powerful people, and I could only hope that my story kind of, I don't know, just kind of touch their hearts and make them reconnect with their heart and help do what's right for creators, which is to help them make a living wage,
Yeah.
And so we helped start that ball rolling with the Music Modernization Act, and I hope to continue. Oh yeah, there we all are with Lamar Alexander and Liz Rose, and that's the president of NSAI, Bart Herbison, and that was all of us together with our senators, just coming together, working on things, and I've been really fortunate to get to to just get to be a part of that, and And it really did. It made me feel like, okay, all this struggle, you know, maybe I don't have the easiest road, but maybe my road, you know, clears the path and makes it easier for other creative people to really be able to make a living and not be kind of forgotten and swept under the rug of all these streaming services and everything, you know, as they kind of took over. So I really think that it's important for everybody to be educated and to know where their music comes from, and in order for it to still come from those places, we gotta take care of those people. And so that documentary is like a really interesting, fun way to understand what goes on behind the scenes of your favorite songs.
Absolutely. And we're going to we're certainly going to share it on our pages, and because I watched it on Vimeo, but yeah, you mentioned that you can go right to their website and watch it there as well. So it's a great watch. It's not very long. It's just under an hour. So it's really worth the time. If you enjoy listening to music at all, it's a really great opportunity to see some of the faces of people that are making it happen, that have made it happen for so many years and are continuing to make it happen currently, which is awesome. It's so awesome.
Thanks.
Where am I at here? So you released your first EP, Sunshine and Rainbows, which has one of my favorite songs on it. But it also included your version of The Blade. So tell me about that record and why you decided to put out a record of your own after being so involved as a songwriter on the scene.
Yeah, I moved to Nashville to be an artist, and I didn't move here just to be a songwriter. And it was kind of crazy how my songwriting career took off first. And like I said before, Ashley Monroe had cut The Blade. I had recorded it, that version from Sunshine and Rainbows. I had recorded it, and then of course Ashley's record came out, and but I still had to put it out. You know, the songwriters. It's always fun to hear the songwriters' version of their songs, and so it was kind of fun to get to do a whole other version and kind of put how I heard it in my head, you know, out there too. And it just it was really magical to be able to put out a song that had already been nominated for a Grammy, you know, again, for someone who, you know, had saved up to make that EP. And, you know, it was really, I was doing all of it independently. And so that boost that the song was given by Ashley and Miranda Lambert was a huge thing for me. And it just brought so much more awareness to my music, which was really cool. And I kind of figured, like, okay, if I can't kind of, you know, get the record deal first and the normal, you know, set of operations that are, obviously I had one record deal, but, you know, if I couldn't get a record deal and then make an album, then I was going to do it differently, you know, and I was going to write the songs for other artists that enabled me to make my own album and do my own thing. And so that's kind of what happened. And I just chose some favorite songs of mine that I had written that I wanted to record, and Sunshine and Rainbows was born, and I released it, and Rolling Stone, you know, covered it, and all kinds of cool press happened because of me just hustling. Like, I remember, right. I really wanted, what'd you say?
I was just agreeing with you. Yeah. I remember that hustle.
Yeah. I just have to share this because some people think, like, again, that it's totally glamorous, or that I just want to share that I never had a leg up at all. And when those things have happened to me, even up through this year, which I'll share a couple other stories as we talk about things, but I was like, man, I want my album to be, you know, reviewed by Rolling Stone. I want Billboard to talk about it. And how do I do that? And so I just researched, like, one of my favorite reporters from Rolling Stone, and I found his email. I just dug around on the internet and I found his email, and I sent him an email, and I said, I am a Grammy-nominated waitress. You know, who else at the Grammys is also waiting tables? ? Like, that was the title of the email. And I said, and I have a new album coming out, and I want you to listen to this song, The Blade. And if you don't like it, you never have to email me back, or you never have to say anything. And I said, I just ask you to listen to this one song. And he listened to it and called me back. And sure enough, Rolling Stone wrote about my album. They wrote about the story behind The Blade. And so I just kind of got scrappy, and I just used the strongest thing I had, which were the songs, to open the doors. And I've continued to do that to this day. and they work better than any record label or publishing company or anybody that I've worked with so far. I would love to find, the right partners and everything at the right point. But I will say that my songs have done, have been the ones to open all the doors for me. So,
well, I tell you
cool.
Whatever company decides to work with you are getting just the best deal, because you have the absolute appreciation of knowing what it's like to be dragged through the mud and come out on the other side and still have your product to put out to people. It's amazing. I just want to mention tuning in is your mother. She said, "Mom's here, Jamie." So hi, Joanne.
Hi, Joanne.
So let's see here. I guess since we've talked so much about the Blade, would you want to play that for us? Yeah?
Yeah.
How about that?
Woo.
All right, you guys.
Just like that.
Yeah, that was easy.
That was so
Let's
easy.
hear it.
All right, you guys. This is Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter Jamie Floyd performing her Grammy-nominated hit, The Blade.
I let your love in. I have the scar. I felt the razor against my heart. I thought we were both in all the way. You caught it by the handle, and I caught it by the blade. You said goodbye is not the end, and if you need me, I'm still your friend. Well, that's easy for you to say, 'cause you caught it by the handle, baby, and I caught it by the blade. That's the risk you run when you love, and you give it all you gotta give. Oh, knowing all along there's a chance you'll reach and they won't. You bleed and they don't. For you it's over, for me it's not. I kept trying and you just stopped. Now I know how you can sound so brave. You caught it by the handle, baby, and I caught it by the blade. That's the risk you run when you love, and you give it all you've gotta give. Yeah, knowing all along there's a chance you'll reach and they won't. You'll bleed and they don't. I thought we were both in all the way. You caught it by the handle, and I caught it by the blade.
So good.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
And And of course, you guys know I have my autographed copy here of Jamie Floyd's The Blade single.
Whoop, whoop.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you for asking me to play that. Yeah, I was gonna say, I ended up recording. There's 2 versions on iTunes. If you're looking and you want a copy of that, obviously go check out Miranda Lambert and Ashley Monroe's version. But there's 2 versions of mine on the internet because I got asked by Shania Twain to be on this TV show of hers, and she asked me to play the Blade, and so I just did an updated new version, like what I did on the television show with her. And so there's 2 versions. So you can hear both of them.
That's awesome.
Did you say Shania? I love Shania.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
awesome.
let's talk about Real Country for a minute. That was a great segue. If you ever want to leave the music business and get into broadcast, we have plenty of seats at the table, as you can see, and you're welcome to come in and do segues all the time. But yeah. So let's talk about Real Country. How did that happen? How did you get involved in that? And yeah, give us the dirt. Give us the dirt.
Okay, so as things were just heating up over the last few years, again, I was completely independent publisher, songwriter, artist, and I had just been dropped from another publishing deal in March of 2018, and I was just it was a really difficult situation, and I was just made to feel worthless, and I freaking got back up and I got a job in another restaurant, and this is March of 2018, and not even a month, 2 months later, I get a call from this new TV show called Real Country, from Shania Twain, saying, "We'd love to have you on this brand new show, and we want you to sing The Blade." And I went through all the audition processes. It's the same people who produced The Voice for NBC. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like a country music version of The Voice. So if The Voice was all just country singers, that's kind of what this was.
Nice.
And and they brought me on the show, and I made my, national television debut playing The Blade. And I got to play it in front of the judges that night were Jake Owen, whose team I was on, another Florida guy, right? And so Jake was my coach, and then Travis Tritt. Yeah, there we are. There I am on stage. Travis Tritt and Sarah Evans and Shania Twain are all staring at me while I have to make my live television
No pressure
debut.
at all.
So let me tell you, that's probably the hardest thing I have ever had to do as far as pressure goes. Because, man, I grew up listening to Travis Tritt. That's some of my earliest memories. Travis's records were definitely instrumental in bringing me into country music and luring me in. And so I sang for all of them, and Shania and all of them gave me a standing ovation. And it was like the most beautiful moment ever. And I'll never forget it. And so I end up winning my episode. I played The Blade, and then I played a Dwight Yoakam's hit, like a pyro and all this stuff. So they let me kind of do some of the old school country stuff, which I love. And I won my episode, and I made it all the way to the finale, and it was incredible. I literally had just gotten dropped from my deal, and it was like, and Shania wants you to come.
I tell you, it's such a cool thing that it was, and it seems to be a trend. I certainly don't want to jinx it, so I'm going to knock on wood. But it seems to be a trend when like one door closes, one door opens for you. This is me and Jordan.
Yeah, we
but
were
Jordan,
avid
she didn't make it to the
watchers.
selfie, but we were watching the episode that you won, which was so amazing.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
We did. We
It's a good
did.
show.
So good. So good.
I love that. Oh, thank you guys for watching. It just, honestly, you don't know the kind of what a national TV appearance does until you have one. And that show just opened up so much to me. That's actually because of being on that show. I've been touring nationally for the last couple of years, and I got a wonderful booking agent and all these things that came from just being on that show. And I got to play stagecoach, and just crazy stuff came from that. And this is another segue. You're gonna like this, Brad.
Yes,
Jordy,
I love my
think.
segues.
But so this is just my life, right? So I get dropped. I'm like, exiled back to the restaurant. Oh, by the way, so let me just give you the chain of events. So I get dropped in March, and then I wrote all of the songs for this for what ended up being Burt Reynolds' final film called The Last Movie Star. And the week that the company that I was with dropped me was the week our movie went to theaters nationwide.
Unbelievable.
And so I literally, on the night my movie went to theaters, I was training in a restaurant. And I felt like, what is happening? Like, how is this happening? And so my movie goes to theaters. About a month later, I get the call from Shania. And then while I am filming the TV show with Shania, I get a call from my business partner of mine in Los Angeles, who says, hey, I know you've written for all these movies, that were happening. I had a lot of cool opportunities to write for a few different movies over those last few years. And she said, I know you've never done theater, you've never done Broadway, but I think you can do it. And I have an opportunity for you that I think you're perfect for. And that opportunity ended up being the new musical that's intended for Broadway that I'm working on now. So while I was on the TV show, I was offered the Broadway musical to write all the music for it. And I remember filming for the interviews and things for Real Country. And like while I was waiting and in the holding rooms and everything, I was writing the songs for the Broadway musical. I started to work on it. And so it was just like you said, when one door closes, about, at least that year, about 17 others open. Right. And it was such a I tell all these stories to I'm incredibly grateful for those things happening. And let me just make very clear to everyone that I was not expecting any of those things. And I was surprised by every single one of them. But I feel like the rejection and what that rejection makes you believe in yourself in a way that you never could have had you not had that level of rejection. And I was so determined to keep going and to just prove that I was worth what I could do it,
Absolutely.
and that it didn't matter how old I was, how long I'd been here. It didn't matter, that I didn't move here, a month ago from LA, and I'm not the cool one, and I'm not, but I'm someone who has really worked on my craft and who really is sincerely wanting to make a difference with my music and wanting to create music that people will never forget. And I'm never going to stop trying to do that, no matter how many doors get closed on me. And so that year just started the snowball effect that has carried all the way into this year. So I would say my career took off like never before as soon as I was dropped. In 2018, it was like, and here we go.
It's like cutting the anchor, it's almost like it was a dead weight. They thought they were cutting dead weight, and they were setting you free, which is so cool. And there is strength in failure, and it's so important for people to understand. Like sometimes you have to fail to appreciate what that feels like, and that maybe you don't want that anymore, and so it pushes you further. I do want to pop back to The Last Movie Star, because I did have an opportunity to watch the film over the last couple of days, and what an absolute treat. Growing up in South Florida, Burt Reynolds is an absolute living, or rest his soul, was a living legend, to us growing up. Like Burt Reynolds is, almost godlike. And he was so local there in Jupiter out in the farms. And so I feel like it was meant to be that a South Florida girl would be part of
I-
writing the soundtrack to one of his last films there. And I will say that the film itself was charming and funny and sad and heartwarming, and it was just all the things. So if you guys are listening out there and have not seen The Last Movie Star, I highly recommend it. It's Burt Reynolds, it's Ariel Winter, it's Chevy Chase. What is it? Duke Clark from Hot Tub Time Machine. He's great in it. You know, and it's just, it really, really is a lovely film. And the soundtrack is amazing as well, if I don't say so myself. And it's crazy because you and John Martin from Stranger Friends duo, you guys wrote the entire, or composed the entire 12-song soundtrack, which is incredible. So, and it was so good, and it works so well with the film. I actually have a if you guys have seen the film and you missed this, let me pull it up here. This was my favorite cameo that I got to see. I was like, who's that band playing in the airport? Oh, and it was so great. It was so great. So
I have to tell you all, that was my first time in a movie ever, and John and I wrote that song like 48 hours before we filmed that scene.
No kidding.
And we wrote that song. We had the script. We were writing all the songs. We just kept writing songs and turning them in. And we wrote this song for the airport scene, and called Stuck. The song's called Stuck, and we sent it to the director, Adam Rifkin, and he said, "Oh, I love this." And then he called us back that day, and he was like, "What are you guys doing, on Thursday?" And we were like, "Why?" And he said, "Well, do you want to sing it in the scene with Burt?" And he's like, "Bring a band with you, and just show up at the Knoxville airport, and we will put you in the movie." And I had to ask off work because I was, by the way, I was writing an entire soundtrack for my first major motion picture while working in a restaurant. And so I happened to get the night off work. John and I, we didn't have a band at that point. And so we literally hired strangers to come with us in a van to Knoxville. And we'd never played with them before. We played with there's a blonde girl standing next to me, beautiful blonde girl who was my best friend in college, Jeannie Grindstaff now. And so Jeannie was in there, but we had no idea who the other people were. We all got in a van, and we get in the scene. And by the way, they kept the Knoxville airport open while they were shooting the movie inside the airport. And it was crazy. And Burt, we get in position, and they tell us that Burt does everything in one take. And we were like, great. So we have one shot at this. Cool. And so my very first time in a movie was in a scene with Burt Reynolds in one take, and we sang live, and it was crazy. And I watch it back now. By the way, if you watch the movie, our scene is like in the first 10 minutes of the movie, and you kind of can't miss my big hair and everything. You'll see us. And,
I saw you straight away. I was like, oh, there she is. And John too. He's a towering dude. He's pretty good, and that hat is perfect. So I saw him, and I was like, oh, there they are.
Yeah, it was really magical, and yeah, we shot that scene that day, and then as we finished it up, and as all kinds of cool things started happening, it got the world premiere happened at the Tribeca Film Festival in New York, and we started traveling, doing all the film festivals with Burt. And by the way, they didn't hire me or us because of my South Florida tie to Burt. That just was all on accident. And I had gone to School of the Arts for a very short time when I had my record deal. And of course, Burt went there when it was Palm Beach High. So Burt and I go to the same high school, all these things that nobody knew. And then when Burt and I would do interviews together, we would talk about it. And we got to travel to all the film festivals together, and we'd play, the music, and Burt would give his interviews. And it was such an incredible experience, and he really was just as charming and hilarious and captivating as young Bert that you see in
Right.
Deliverance and everything. It was the same guy, you know.
It's amazing.
And we were really lucky to get to know him like that. And yeah, of course, who didn't know Burt Reynolds growing up in South Florida? So
I
was
know.
like, Burt, you know.
I know. Well, you guys actually did an event down in Jupiter at the EC Theater, and that's like local for us. So you guys performed and opened up that evening with Burt Reynolds, which is basically a Q&A for his life and everything else. And so you guys performed for that there. And
Yeah.
and of course, in true Burt Reynolds style there, always with the ladies.
Oh yeah.
So fun. Very, very cool.
he is awesome. Yeah, I love that. But yeah, if you have the chance to check out the movie, it really was a performance of a lifetime, and we obviously didn't know it was his last film, but I'm really so grateful that I was a part of it, and that I got to witness his genius live up close like that.
It was awesome. We do have a comment from Jen Hyde on YouTube. She said, not only can she sing and write, she volunteers with Operation Songwriting, or Operation Song, writing songs with veterans and their families. And that they had the pleasure of meeting you last year, and wrote her Army Mom song in just a few hours. What was that like? That is not something that I read about in my research. So tell me a little bit about that.
Actually, I'm so glad Jen brought that up. So Jen has an incredible story, and she's an Army mom, and I work with an organization called Operation Song, which is how she and I met. And Operation Song pairs military families and veterans with professional songwriters to come together to help tell their stories through song, to help them heal or kind of just process all of those emotions that come with giving that greatest sacrifice of having their families or themselves in the military. And it was an incredible day with Jen getting to write about her son and her experience. And I'm glad she said that, because Operation Song is, I think, one of the most important things that I'm a part of, and the most important thing that I do with my songwriting, outside of all the stars and the this and the that and the glamour. Honestly, Operation Song is something that's it's where my time is the best. I spend my time there, and it's worth the most. And speaking of Operation Song, they are why, and together with them, I made my Grand Ole Opry debut with Operation Song, performing one of the songs that was written about an incredible soldier that lost his life in service to our country. And Operation Song, you can learn more about it at operationsong.org. And yeah, this year, just a few weeks ago, I was at another Operation Song retreat, and what they do is incredible. So if you're feeling generous and want to support them, what they do, I've seen it firsthand, is world changing. And yeah, if you watch back my Grand Ole Opry debut, which is also on YouTube and on my sites, you can learn more about Operation Song. And I sang a song from that organization, and it's just a memory I'll never forget. And yeah, they're incredible. I'm so glad Jen brought that up.
Very cool.
So cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
That's
definitely
awesome.
we'll definitely have to check that out and see what that's all about. Absolutely. And of course, we'll link everything to that in the episode.
Yeah.
We'll definitely talk about your Opry debut, but I feel like I'm moving in a bit of a chronological order. So
Yeah. Great.
when were you? And you were born, and then you started walking. No, okay. But so recently, and now we'll get into some more recent things, which we're very, very excited about. You just recently, in the last couple of months, released a brand new EP, New Girl, and which I also have my signed copy.
Booyah.
There it is.
So yeah, you shot. You mentioned earlier that you shot a video while you were on tour in Alaska for "Life's a Party," which is a beautiful song, and I can't imagine that there would be a better location, and certainly the setting that was blessed upon you that evening to really create something for this song. So tell me a little bit about the record and the Life's a Party video.
Yeah, so New Girl is my brand new EP, and we actually just released it on Spotify recently, so you should check it out. It is just that there's a quote that says, make art out of your broken heart, and that record was certainly something that I used to heal and to just tell real stories, from my life, and that I hope everybody would kind of relate to. And so New Girl is just, I'm so proud of it. And I recorded it here in Nashville and put it out, and it debuted at number 6 on the country iTunes chart. Again, this is no label, no publicist, no fancy anything. It was just me hustling and put the album out, and was touring on it as well. And it's been so incredible. And when I was on tour this last June in Alaska, I kind of had a surprise opportunity to make a music video for one of the songs, like you mentioned, called Life's a Party. And in Alaska, of course, it stays bright out the entire day.
Basically, yeah.
And we had one opportunity because my schedule was so busy there. I was playing constantly every night. And the only one opportunity was to shoot the video the night before I was leaving to come back to Nashville. But I was playing for 2 hours before we shot this video. So I play a 2-hour show, and you get done at like 10 o'clock at night, but it's bright out.
Right. It's like afternoon.
Yeah. So it's perfect because it's kind of like that twilight golden hour happening only at 11 o'clock at night in Alaska. And so after I get done playing a 2-hour show, we haul me and the guitar out to the middle of the Kenai beaches, and it had been raining and gross, and but the sky kind of opened up, and we start shooting the video, and it's just gorgeous out. And then as we're getting ready, yeah, there it is. Yep. And
so beautiful,
it was kind of,
right?
Yeah, like a little bit overcast, but the sun was coming. So this is like at 11:30 at night.
Amazing.
Just so everybody knows.
The earth is so weird.
Weird.
Yeah, that is late. That is the middle of the night. And so I'm out there, and they put those special boots on me, these Alaskan kind of hardcore boots where you don't sink into all the mud, and I'm like traipsing around on there. And so as we're getting ready to wrap up, we had gotten all these shots. As soon as we get on that boardwalk you see me walking on, a giant double rainbow comes across the sky. So right after that shot right there, the rainbow comes up, and they go, Jamie, do you think you could stand up on these rails? Now, that was a huge drop that you can't really see, but no rail, no nothing. They helped me to stand up like on the edge of that boardwalk so that we could have the rainbows directly behind me, lining up with me. And you can't schedule a rainbow for your music video, like, you know what I'm saying?
Unless you have like After
Like,
Effects or you're adding it in like, with a filter, a Snapchat filter or something.
Yeah, no. That was all happening live. And the crazy thing is that this song is about how life will surprise you and how, you never know what's coming next. And here comes a freaking rainbow in the middle of the night. And it was so incredible, and it made the video, and that kind of magic is just what surrounded the making of this album too. And then, speaking of magic, then CMT did the world premiere of this video. And
yes.
Again, like, this all happened like CMT in August, did the debut of this video, and that same weekend is when I made my Opry debut, and all these things happening one after the other. And it just was because I kept putting myself out there, and I kept saying yes. I kept saying, okay, sure, yeah, let's shoot a video in the middle of the night,
right?
Like, yeah, let's do that. So it's been a really magical summer. By the way, this is for those, I guess I haven't told this story exactly chronologically like you're doing, which is great. But that Friday, CMT debuted the video, and me as an independent artist, that just doesn't happen. Everybody has like publicist teams and social media teams and all these things, and I literally have me. And so CMT again kind of let me through the gates. They debuted my video on Friday. I made my Grand Ole Opry debut on Saturday, and I got engaged on Sunday.
Air horn. Seriously, like
Awesome.
you want to talk about the best weekend ever? That's pretty good. It doesn't get much better than that. Well, let's talk a little bit about your Opry debut. And of course, 2020 has been a mountain of obstacles for everyone, including entertainers, and many of us finding ways to break molds and find other ways to deliver entertainment, music, etc. to our audiences. And one way some artists have been adapting is by putting on these big drive-in, big screen concerts. And so this ties in with your Opry debut in such a very cool 21st century 2020 way. So tell us about that entire experience. It's such a great story.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the Opry has been my number one, like my dream venue. That for me, that's like, if I could play the Opry, I did it, That was just my dream. And so I find out, I get the call, you're gonna play the Opry on Saturday night. And of course it's the times of coronavirus, so it's going to be empty, but it's going to be part of this Encore Drive-In Night series and at first they didn't tell us who I was going to be opening for. So they said, it's going to be one of the greatest rock bands of all time. And we were like, oh my God, like there's only a handful of who that could be, right?
Right.
And
very narrow. You could definitely guess which was that.
We were like, okay, Rolling Stones, Aerosmith, Metallica. Like we were just like going, okay, some of them are more metal, some of them, but like AC/DC, it was one of them, And so I get to the Opry and I walk on the stage and it was, you still had all the cameramen and everybody there, but of course everybody's in masks and everything's distanced. And we went to tape the song, and it was so special because I was standing in the circle in that giant, beautiful Opry house, and it almost was that much more magical because it was so intimate, because the place was empty.
Right.
And it was like being there, with everybody's ghosts, and that was actually really beautiful and unforgettable to stand in the circle and get to look around and just soak it all in without any distractions, without any, usually you'd be on the adrenaline of the audience and everything. And because it was so still and so, it was just that much more like holy ground, it felt like. And so I do the performance and we film it, and it was just incredible. We took all the pictures and everything. And then a few days later, I found out that my segment was going to be opening for Metallica.
Amazing.
And it's fine. Cool. That just, every day, it's not every day you get to open for Metallica on the Grand Ole Opry. Because I had dreamed about making my Opry debut, but I did not dream that I would be opening for Metallica in 300 cities across the United States and Canada.
Simultaneously, yeah.
Like, what? And then, what was so special about it being Metallica, it was actually Metallica and 3 Days Grace. So our segment aired, and then 3 Days Grace, and then Metallica. And, but what I was going to say is about a year and a half ago, I waited on Metallica.
No kidding.
They had rented out our restaurant. They had played in Nashville at the big stadium here, and they rented out our restaurant from midnight to 4 a.m. And I was assigned Rob, the bass player's table. And so I was with them all night, and I became friends with them, and they were talking to me, and they were like, what do you do? You know, they're really cool and down to earth. And so we got to talking, and we were talking about the Blade, and like they knew, like it was so crazy, and we became friends. And so when I found out it was them, I like texted some of their managers. I was like, you know, some of the road guys and everybody that we met, I was like, hey, guess what? I was like, we didn't even plan this, but I'm opening for you guys, you know? Because we didn't plan it. We did not plan it. And so that is another great story of mine, where you can wait on Metallica and a year later you open for them across North America.
Music City. We'll get the thanks and applause. Oh man, that's wild.
Yeah,
that's so great.
It's like,
now,
is that a Small World story? Kind of. That's like
it
a small
kind of is
world.
a small
I don't know.
world.
That's like mind blowing.
Right? It is
That's
a small
weird.
world story.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Now, is that available to watch
Wow.
online now that it's premiered? And
Yeah, it's on my YouTube channel. You can watch it, and you can also watch it on Operation Songs YouTube channel.
nice.
But if you look up, youtube.com/Jamie Floyd Music, I have it up there, and you can watch the whole thing. I have it on Instagram as well, and my videos on Instagram.
Yeah, that sounds like late night watching for us.
That's after podcast fun.
Yes,
That's so
absolutely.
cool. Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
well that's so cool. And I mean, you know, the irony is not lost on me about your Opry debut to a completely like calm room. You know, and it's watching your career for as long as I have, and as long as a lot of people have, especially down here, you know, your friends and family down here and in the home base, you know, like the struggles that you've gone through and the perseverance that you have put on to reach each goal is not lost on us. So don't, you know, a thing that you said earlier that resonates is that at one point you felt like you were the only one that believed in you, and that's simply not true. Like you got a crew here, absolutely. With that being said, I just have a couple more points that are things that are coming more recent with you.
Sure.
You have a super group of songwriters that you've put together called The Three of Us, and you're already making waves with your song Resentment, which is Kesha's single off of her latest album. So tell us about Resentment.
Well, Resentment is a song I wrote with Rabel and Maddie Diaz, two incredible artists. I've been friends with Rabel for, going on 12, 13 years now. And Maddie is someone I have just learned or come to love and adore over the past few years. And The Three of Us is what we're called. But also The Three of Us sat down to write a couple of years ago for the very first time, all three of us together. And we wrote a handful of songs that day, and it was so magical that we just kept doing it. We kept having these little songwriting trips where we like hole up in a house and drink a bunch of green juice and cry with each other all day and write songs. I know that sounds like a lot of fun. No, but it's
all
fun
the
for us.
fun.
Yeah, you're like, great. That sounds like a great time. But we just have this sweet little connection, and we just trust each other so much creatively and personally, and we just kind of pour everything out to each other, and we write these songs. And so we wrote Resentment, and Kesha heard it and kind of took it into the studio and made it her own. And we're so excited for just an incredible, you know, artist of her caliber. She's just like worldwide superstar, right? And we found out that she was putting it on her new album, and then we found out at the last minute that not only was she singing it, but she brought Brian Wilson in from the Beach Boys, as well as Sturgill Simpson.
Amazing.
And my co-writer Rabel to all sing on the song with her.
Unbelievable.
So I never dreamed of having a Beach Boy sing one of my songs, but here we are. And like, there's no higher honor. There's just none. And then Sturgill Simpson is such a badass, and he's so awesome. And he so lovely to me. As soon as the song came out, he really was just such a champion of us songwriters. And
when his record, his debut record dropped, and he subsequently won Album of the Year that year that record dropped. I don't know. I felt like I found a treasure, and I showed it to everybody. Do you remember that?
Yeah, you wore that out. You were always listening.
I did,
to that.
and I showed it to everybody.
Everyone.
Anybody that would come around, I'd be like, "You gotta."
Do you know Sturgill?
Yeah, I was like, do you like Hank Jr. and do you like Van Morrison? Because that was how I kind of pulled together what I understood his sound to be, because it was so unusual to me. And I was like, Van Morrison, Hank Jr. You got to listen to Sturgill Simpson. It was so good. Anyway, sorry, that was a tangent. Yes,
I love that.
But him being on that tune, like, it's such a great song. It's such a short song. I couldn't believe, I had to put it on repeat a couple times, because at least her cut, at any rate, is it's just under 3 minutes, I think, long.
Yeah, they're like radio ready
to go.
Everything's got to be like that, for performances and stuff. Yeah, that's kind of the norm these days. But yeah, that was crazy. And then she sang it on, the Tonight Show, and over the pandemic or over quarantine, she played it on the Tonight Show, and she just keeps singing it everywhere and performing it and talking about it. And it's been very surreal and such a huge blessing to have a voice like hers and all those legends on that one song. And so that was our first cut as the three of us, right out the gate, just okay, so
not a bad start.
We knew there was we knew there was some kind of magic with what we do, but our intention was to just put out, what we did was we started recording just the three of us in a room with either one guitar or piano and our three voices. And we just decided once we knew Kesha was going to record Resentment, we were like, gosh, like, what would happen if other people, heard the other handful of songs that we have? So we started putting out our demos onto Spotify and on iTunes. So if you all want to hear a few of our songs, who knows who's going to cut one of them next? I would love to. Who knows? I'm just going to put them out there. But if you want to hear the three of us singing our songs that no big artists have released yet, it's under the name The Three of Us, and it's on Spotify and everywhere you can listen to music. And it's our three voices and just one instrument, really raw, and it's all about the song. And I'm actually writing with those two tomorrow.
No kidding.
And so we're working on Maddie Diaz's record as well as Rabel's. And if you haven't heard the music out from either of them separately, Maddie Diaz and M-A-D-I Diaz and Rabel, it's W-R-A-B-E-L. They will absolutely blow you away, and you'll be really glad that you discovered them. So you should go check them out too.
Well, clearly my music week is now jam-packed. I have a lot of listening homework to do. Very excited about it.
I should be writing this down.
Yeah, write it down, Jordan. What are you doing? There she goes. She's writing down over there. We got a comment from Jessica Bresmer. She said, Resentment is my favorite song to hear Jamie sing, and I hope she sings it for you. And we love requests here. But before I pass that torch to you, I do want to talk quickly about your online songwriter coaching program, Song Therapy. And that's really I guess that's the end of the tough questions that I have for you. But yeah, so tell us about Song Therapy.
Yeah, so this year is the year of unexpected pivots for all of us, right? And for the last several years, obviously this whole time I've been talking about my ridiculous story and all of its crazy twists and turns. And I've found that over the years, as things get crazier for me, I've learned so much from those experiences, and I really have had a lot of experience in creating success as an independent songwriter, publisher, and artist. And I kind of, in my spare time, because it's just a passion of mine, I've mentored a lot of different other artists and songwriters over the years who have come to me, and it's just something really close to my heart because I love songwriters. That's why it's just why I champion in Washington. It's why I do everything that I do. I just, it's an important thing for me to stand up for our community and to take care of each other in our community. And it's just something that I've always loved doing. And this year, a student of mine actually said, you need to really get this organized because I think you could reach a lot of people. And I think what you have to offer and say is really unique, and that especially in this day and age when so many artists and songwriters are independent and all of just you're able to put out your own music, you're able to market everything yourself, and it's such a DIY situation now in the music business that one of my students was like, you really should get organized and just put that out there, especially now that you're not touring. I had like 80 plus dates get canceled this year, and so since I had the time, I started this new business called Song Therapy, and is mentoring for songwriters and artists of all levels, all ages. And we basically just I share whatever it is that all my experiences and how it applies to whatever is going on in that songwriter or artist world. And it's been a really special thing to connect with, all these creators all over the world, thanks to Zoom and everything. So it's called Song Therapy, and it's songtherapyonline.com. And I just, in between touring and everything, I just plan on working in my students when I can, and it's just something that's really close to my heart. And I'm really glad that 2020 brought that to life this year. It's a passion of mine, and I'm going to start bringing in other songwriters of pro songwriters and friends of mine who have written a bunch of songs that y'all might know as kind of like guest therapists and all that kind of stuff. So it's been really exciting.
Very cool.
To start it. Thanks for asking about it.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. I'm so stoked. Definitely looking forward to that progression and seeing how that grows. And I can't wait for you to be able to like say, that song, I coached the guy that wrote that #1 hit. Yeah.
I would love that. Gosh, and you know what? Recently, one of these incredible writers that I mentored had his song performed on the Grand Ole Opry, and he just watching that happen for him was so incredible. He's also an independent songwriter, and he worked so hard, and that is just what brings so much joy to my world to watch that happen for other people, because I know how it feels to work for that for years and years, and and to not be a part of the machine, but to kind of break through. And so watching my students do that is really fulfilling. So yeah, I can't wait. Be
awesome.
Like, that song,
Awesome. I love it. Well, you guys, up next, we're going to take a peek inside the JORDY files, but first, why don't we do a request here, Jamie?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm so glad that Jessica and Alyssa are watching in South Florida. I will play Resentment, which is my song that was recorded by Kesha, Brian Wilson, and Sturgill Simpson and Rabel. I'll play the songwriter's version of it, so this is it.
I feel loved on and I feel used. Nobody makes me feel the way you do. And sometimes I just can't stand it. Isn't that just the thing about us? I'm still thinking you could be the one, but you're always taking me for granted. I've got something I've gotta get off of my chest. I've been staying up while you're sleeping in my bed. I don't hate you, babe. It's worse than that. 'Cause you hurt me, I don't react. I've been building up this thing for months. Oh, Sandman. You say you know me like you know yourself, but there's a part of you that you won't have, and you say you can't do it, just do it for my sake. It's a shame knowing we could be good, but you could treat me better if you really wanted to, and if you can't do it for my sake, do it for our sake. Oh, I don't hate you, babe. It's worse than that, 'cause you hurt me. I don't react. I've been building up this thing for months. Oh, resentment. Oh, I don't know how to leave or how to stay. So I've been talking to strangers, 'cause I can't talk to you anymore that way. Did I let you down? 'Cause you let me down, but you would never say that you let me down, but you let me down. You let me down. So I don't hate you, babe. It's worse than that, 'cause you hurt me and I'm more than sad. I've been building up this thing for months. Oh, that's resentment. I request.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, you guys, each week we I'm so like moved I can't even read. Well, you guys, each week our very own Jordan Taylor gives us a lesson on this day music. Man, I've really this is my first time.
Just it's the Jordy Files.
Jordan gives us a lesson in on this day music history, celebrity birthdays, gossip, and local happenings inside the Jordy Files. I think the Jordy Files. Jordy Files. Jordy!
Oh, hi. Okay, I'm going to try to read too, so we'll see how this goes.
Good luck.
Okay.
It's not as easy as it looks.
I did proofread a couple times, so we should be good. So today we have some birthdays. We have blues rocker Delbert McClinton turns 80 years old today. He's
80.
known the
Oh
big
my
80.
goodness.
Yeah.
Delbert, I did a
What a fun name.
music cruise with Delbert years ago, and he was pretty old then. Still killing it. But that was a great cruise. I was out there with oh my God, so many people.
Was that the one with Taj? Or not? Was his name Taj?
No, not Taj. That was a different cruise. But it'll come to me. Carry on.
Just blurt it out when you.
It basically was like a booze cruise, and I don't remember a whole lot of it. But yeah,
You just remember Delbert.
I do remember Delbert. It was his cruise. It was his Sandy Shores cruise.
Oh, well, that makes sense why you remember him then.
Yeah.
And so he had the 1980 hit Giving It Up For You. He wrote the number one hit 2 more bottles of wine for Emmylou Harris.
Yeah.
So those are his songs. And then we have Sean Puff Daddy Puffy P. Diddy Combs is 51 today, however you want to identify him. So many names.
I wonder if he has that written on his driver's license.
Yeah.
Just all of his names over the years.
It's a lot of P's and D's. And then we have singer, songwriter, and actor Gregory Porter. He turns 48 today. He won the 2014 Grammy Award for Best Jazz Vocal Album for Liquid Spirit.
Nice.
Yes, and then we have Louise Redknapp from the British R&B girl group Eternal. She's 45 today. They are known for the 1997 UK #1 hit, I Wanna Be the Only One. And then some other notable birthdays today. We have the Karate Kid, Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, you got it.
Yes.
Well done.
Is 59 today. I was worried about that one. And then last but not least, Matthew McConaughey is 51. All right, all right, all right.
All right, all right, all right.
And then on this day in music history, Johnny Nash went to #1 on this day in 1972 with the smash hit I Can See Clearly Now.
Yeah.
No one's ever heard that one.
Yeah,
before.
no, that's a very obscure hit, you know.
Oh, can't even see it. And then today in 1980, Bob Marley was baptized at the Ethiopian Orthodox Church in Kingston, Jamaica, converting to a Christian Rastafarian and taking the name of Burhane. Oh no, this is the one. Salisi.
We didn't go over this name.
We didn't go over it. Google it if you want to know. They'll say it for you. Oh, I forgot about that one. Okay, and then I'm confident in that. On this day in
I appreciate your confidence.
Yes, on this day in 1984, Prince played the first of 7 nights at Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan. It was the start of his Purple Rain tour, and the concert marked the live debut of his new band, The Revolution. Yay for Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit.
That's where I'm
Yay
from.
for the revolution.
Yes. And then today in 1991, Bobby Bland, Booker T and the MGs, Johnny Cash, Jimi Hendrix, and the Isley Brothers, Sam and Dave, and the Yardbirds were all elected to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So
Yeah.
good for all of them.
That was a big day.
Yes.
91.
Yeah.
It was. And then for my girl, in 1997, Shania Twain released her 3rd album, Come On Over, which I played all the time, which became the best-selling country music album by a female act. 12 of the 16 tracks were released as singles.
That's incredible.
Yeah, her and Celine Dion, they were like, ooh.
12 of 16 were,
Yeah, that's-
were radio singles.
Yeah.
Isn't
I mean, they
that-
were all
isn't that
bangers.
wild,
They were
Jamie?
all bangers. And then on this day in 2002, Elton John and Bernie Taupin received the Music Industry Trust Award for one of the greatest songwriting partnerships of all time.
About that.
Yeah. And then last but not least, in 2013, Rihanna joined the Beatles and Elvis Presley as one of just 3 acts to top the UK singles chart 7 times over 7 years. She made the #1 spot as the featured artist on Eminem's track, The Monster.
Yeah.
And that concludes
Oh.
the JORDY Files.
The JORDY Files.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Too kind.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, up next, you guys, we're going to play a game of Name That Tune, and you're all invited to come and play along with us. But how about another song from the amazing Jamie Floyd?
Yes, please.
Yes, please, Jordan says.
Do it. Okay. I'm going to play you the title track from my brand new album called New Girl.
Yes.
I hope he doesn't love you like you love me, new girl. I hope you jump ship, cause it's a submarine. And once it starts singing, it won't stop sinking. And ain't no fun down here with me. He Easing out with the old and then with the new girl. Your heart's not something he's worried about. Once it starts hurting, it won't stop hurting. Believe me then, or believe me when he pulls the crazy card. 'Cause that's just how we all are. You'll know you're not that far from a new girl. Not trying to make it hard on the new girl, 'cause I've been there and I've been you. And once he starts cheating, he won't stop cheating. The one before me had dark hair too, just like you. So when he pulls the crazy card and says how just like me you are, you'll know he's not that far. You don't wanna be the new girl. You don't wanna be, you don't wanna be. You don't wanna be, you don't wanna be the new girl. You don't wanna be, you don't wanna be. You don't wanna be, you don't wanna be the new girl. You don't wanna be, you don't wanna be. Think you wanna be, don't wanna be the new girl. 'Cause it ain't no fun down here. Trust me.
Thank you.
She even had the hair going on that one.
Yeah, right.
That was good.
Jamie with the good hair.
Yeah.
Attitude, yeah.
Oh man. Oh, that's a great tune. Oh, it's so like I'm gonna punch you in the face song. I love it.
That's like
I love it.
my modern day. You know, we were talking about country music as all story songs, you know, and you can really go there. That's my version of some country music storytelling. You know?
It's a good one. It's very like reminiscent of certainly a more aggressive like girl crush or something like that, you know, where you're kind of reaching out and saying, listen, you, I've been there before. I love it. Awesome, awesome. Well, you guys, we'd like to invite all of you watching at home to join us for this interactive segment. We're looking for the name of the song and artist. Put your guesses in the chats or comments while we put our guesses on the dry erase boards. Oh, I forgot to tell you that, Jamie. I should have sent you a dry erase board. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Okay. At the end of the game, we're going to pick a lucky raffle winner to send some goodies to. So definitely participate if you're tuning in. Get ready to play Name That Tune. All right, all right. Oh, look, Jordan, all the cameras are good.
Yay.
I never remember
this.
to look at the segment or the camera angles for this segment before we do it. So I'm very glad that it all lined up
Yes.
tonight.
That is exciting.
All right, you guys. Well, tonight's category is songs from Hall of Fame songwriters inducted in the 21st century.
Whoa.
So, like that, very intense.
That was good.
In addition to the song name and artist, we're giving out bonus points for giving us the name of the songwriter as well. Are you all ready to play?
Oh boy.
Yes. Okay. Here we go. And by the way, these are some of my favorite songs of all time.
I
They're
hope one of them is
so good.
one we learned tonight Are any of them?
No, but we did talk. We did talk about a couple of these songwriters this evening. So here is the first tune.
Said he was a cowboy when he was young. He could handle a rope.
That's all you get. I could listen to that song on repeat. I'll give you guys one more time there listening at home. Be sure to put them in the chats or the comments.
Said he was a cowboy when he was young. He could handle a rope.
So Jamie, we normally we wait for basically like our timer runs out when somebody in the chat room gives us the correct answer. So we just kind of like sit here and look stupid for a second while we wait for that to go out. But Bobby Sue and Joanne got the artist. We're looking for the song name. And Kevin McLaughlin says, Randy Travis, don't know the title. It is Randy Travis.
Well, Ringo's joining in too.
Yep. All right. So we got a little bit of a delay. So, Jordan, what did you write on your card?
Oh, I don't. It's embarrassing.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's always embarrassing.
Yeah, it really is. I put Cowboy by Brooks and Dunn.
That's not it.
It's not
That's not it.
No.
Well, all right, Jamie, what is it?
I'm also stumped. I knew it was going to be off the bat, but I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Jessica Bresmer chimed in with He Walked on Water, and that is the correct answer from Randy Travis.
Said he was a cowboy when he was
I
young.
am hating myself right now because Alan Shamblin wrote that. I do get the
Yeah,
answer,
you got the songwriter.
Oh, nice. Yeah, she's
Well
probably
done.
good as hell at that part. Wait, who wrote it?
Alan Shamblin was
Alan
the
Shamblin.
writer. Which
I've been in the round with Alan so many times singing that song. I feel so stupid.
It's so funny. Alan was also a co-writer on The Blade. Am I right? Yeah.
You are right.
Oh, wow.
Am I
He
right?
also wrote The House That Built Me. He's written a bunch of songs for that.
Yeah, he's written so many.
Oh.
And he is in the Hall of Fame, inducted in this century,
Wow.
which is cool. Are you guys ready for the next clue? All right, this one's a little easier, I imagine. Maybe. I always say that, and it's always a complete bomb.
Yeah.
But I think this one is pretty good. Here we go. Next clue.
Looking back on the memory of.
That's all you get, Jordan.
I think I know.
Yeah, Jamie's got it. All right, you guys at home, I'm going to give you one more chance here.
Looking back
Not that you need it, really.
on the memory of.
All right, Ashley got it. Ashley Morales got it with Garth Brooks, The Dance. Is that what you had, Jamie?
Yes, and I know who wrote it.
Okay. Hang on to that. We'll see if anybody else can come up with that. Garth Brooks, The Dance, coming in there with Kevin McLaughlin and Joanne. Anybody out there know the art or the songwriter for that? Jamie's chomping at the bit. I love it.
Patiently eating. I got it right, though, the Garth Brooks. I didn't have time to write the name of the song. Not that I...
That's okay, Jordan. You get a point.
that was pretty good for me.
We just give a point. We just give points away here.
They free.
For free. Jessica got Garth The Dance. All right. Who is the songwriter, Jamie?
Tony Arata.
Tony Arata is correct.
Nice.
Yes.
If we ever go on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or whatever show has replaced that, if there's a songwriter question, we are phoning Jamie as
Jamie
our
is our
friend.
phone a friend.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And we will split.
All right. This next clue is a singer-songwriter. She is also the artist of this tune and is absolutely legendary in and of herself. And I grew up listening to dollar tunes. So here is your third clue.
It's been a while since I felt this feeling. Everything that you do gives me.
the worst part about putting this segment together is that I want to sit and listen to these songs like in their entirety. They're so good.
Me too.
Here it is one more time for you guys playing at home.
It's been a while since I felt this feeling that everything that you do gives me.
Ashley chimed in with Winona, Shut Up and Kiss Me. That is the right song title, but the wrong artist. It is not Winona, but she's awesome too.
Somebody whisper. Oh, I want to sing all those songs.
Ooh, shut up and kiss me. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So far, she's the only one that's
We've stumped them.
that's answered. Jordan, what do you got written down?
Okay. Well, maybe I got the artist right. I put Trisha Yearwood.
Not Trisha Yearwood.
And I put Thunder.
No,
I-
She does sound a lot. She really does have Trisha qualities there.
She
so
does.
okay. You
totally,
could see
that's
that
not a
one?
bad guess.
Okay. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Jessica chimed in with Mary Chapin Carpenter, which is correct. Unfortunately,
say,
Jamie's
Jessica
mom
wrote that.
chimed in with Patty Loveless. That is not correct. Wesley Shane also with Mary Chapin Carpenter. Well done, you guys. Not too shabby. Now, any guesses for the songwriter? Even though I gave it away ages ago.
I think it's her.
It is her. You're absolutely right.
Yay.
All right.
Trick question.
Next clue. Here we go.
I'm proud as anyone. That's where I come from.
Now, Jordan, you had better get this. We've had many conversations about this guy. Here it is one more time for you.
I'm proud as anyone. That's where I come from.
All right. Ashley chimed in with Back Where I Come From, Kenny Chesney. That is correct. Kevin's popping in with Kenny Chesney. All right. Oh, Jordan, you didn't write
I didn't
anything?
even have a chance to.
Oh, my gosh. You got to be quick.
Yeah,
You got to
that
be
was-
quick. All right. Anybody have the songwriter? The songwriter for that tune.
Oh, is this why you said I should get it?
Go ahead, Jordan. Write it down. Just write it down real quick.
Okay.
She better get it.
I know who it is now. I think.
You got a lot of pressure on you now. Show it to me first.
So I don't embarrass myself.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Is it not?
It's not.
Oh.
Oh my God. Erase that.
Okay.
You're ridiculous.
I put Sam Hunt.
All right. Any guesses? It's not Sam Hunt.
Sam, my love Hunt. So if you meet Sam Hunt, tell him I love him.
Yeah. Jordan told me if I ever go missing that Sam Hunt is like next on her list. So, any guesses, Jamie? On the songwriter?
I'm ashamed to say I don't know who wrote. I'm gonna guess like Craig Wiseman, but I don't. I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong.
It's not. It's not. I'm going to tell you. It is Mac McAnally.
Proud as anyone. That's where I come from.
I should have known that.
Oh my God, Jessica just under the wire came in with Mac. I don't.
Oh,
Nice.
And I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt because I know there's a little bit of a delay, so that was pretty quick to pick up. So you get that point anyway, Jessica or Alyssa. I know that both of you are watching under that name. So yes, Mac McAnally, one of my favorites. Awesome,
yeah.
you know, as a beach bum myself, Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefers, love them.
Luscious locks.
All right, I have one more clue for you tonight. And this is another artist that we talked about earlier on. Ringo had better get this one. Captain Ringo tuning in on YouTube.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
wait, Brad, that's my favorite country song by a male.
Yeah. That's the answer. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. Winner.
All right, here it is one more time. All right, Joanne chimed in with George Strait. That is correct
Nice.
for the artist. Jessica says Alyssa's in bed now. her extra up late time ran out.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Waiting for any other guesses there in the chat rooms. Jordan, did you write anything down?
I didn't.
You gave up.
I did.
You've given up.
Yes.
I should just turn your camera off.
Yeah, right.
Given up.
I'm just keeping score here of
Just-
who's playing.
I'm just doing my producing duties now.
Yeah.
All right,
It's too
Jamie.
shameful.
Any guesses on the name of the tune? We know it's George Strait.
Yes.
I'm ready. All right. What's the name of the song there?
Okay. Nobody in his right mind would have left her.
Yes.
Wow.
And the songwriter?
Dean Dillon.
Dean
Ah,
Dillon.
nice. Whoop,
Yes.
whoop. Wow. Yep. Nope.
So with Captain Ringo tuning in with us here on the YouTube channel, he gets to hang out with Dean on a pretty regular basis up in Grant, Florida. He comes down and hangs out pretty often, once or twice a year, and so Ringo has some great stories about Dean, and I look forward to piggybacking and getting to meet him. As many people know, he's a co-writer for Tennessee Whiskey and almost every hit song that George Strait's ever had, and so he is the epitome of a living legend. Very, very cool. Yeah, well,
Nice.
that's Name That Tune.
That was
Not
good.
bad. Not you guys.
That was a good segment.
So good, so good.
Yeah.
All right. Jordan, how many people did we have participating in the chats?
We had 8.
8. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, you guys. Well, we are going to pick one of you to send some jams and cocktails swag to. So what we like to do is we ask our special guest. So Jamie, pick a number 1 to 8. 6. What is 6?
6 is Chris Baker.
Chris Baker.
Yay! Thanks for playing, everyone.
All right, Chris. Well, be sure to direct message us in whatever platform you're watching on, and we'll chat with you, get your address, and we're going to send you some cool stuff. Probably some koozies, some jams and cocktail koozies. We'll keep your drinks nice and cold. Thank you so much for tuning in.
And stylish.
Yeah, and stylish.
Being stylish.
All right. They are stylish. So stylish. And maybe if we get our stickers in, I'll send you some stickers as well. Thanks again, Chris. All right. Well, you guys, the time has come to put our special guest, Jamie Floyd, on the hot seat in one of our favorite segments, inspired by the late, great James Lipton from Inside the Actor Studio. This is Inside the Lipton Tea. Hello and welcome to Inside the Lipton Tea. My name is Brad Brock, playing the part of Mr. James Lipton. I'm here with Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter Jamie Floyd. Jamie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
I'm going to center you up a little bit more in the picture here.
Okay.
And and there we go. Much better. Much better. All right. Well, are you ready?
I maybe not.
You don't have a choice.
Okay. Here we go.
What is your favorite word?
Yes.
What is your least favorite word?
No.
I feel like I'm having deja vu from one of these.
Yeah.
What turns you on? Joanne, cover your ears.
Talent.
What turns you off?
A lot. I'm like trying to pick the one. Arrogance.
All right. What is your favorite curse word?
Can I say it?
We are not restricted by the FCC in any way here.
All right.
Inside the Lipton Tea.
It's suck.
Yeah. It's a pretty common one.
It's the best.
Yeah.
What profession other than your own would you like to try?
Politician.
All right. What job would you not do under any circumstance?
Illustrator.
Illustrator. Like drawing pictures?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Like, yeah, an illustrator. Any drawing.
And finally, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You were right.
Yeah. Nice.
Perfect.
That was a great Lipton tea.
That
Well
was- that was
done. Well
flowy.
done.
Politician.
Hey, I'm
It is the hot seat. It is the hot seat.
Did great.
Well, you guys, coming up next, you'll get a dose of midweek motivation with Tony Espinosa. But how about another song from Jamie?
Let's do it.
All right.
So, Brad, I'm going to do a request from you. When we were doing our little sound check today with Jordan and Brad, he was saying this, that he loved this song. It's from my first album called Sunshine and Rainbows, and it's called The People You Knew. And I actually wrote it with my modern day songwriting hero, Lori McKenna. And so this is called The People You Knew.
You're gonna make me cry today.
Oh, good. I always like to say, I'm not happy till you're not happy. Here we go. All right, here we go.
Every day became every so often, and every minute became every now and then. It was always you and me in the front seat. I was more myself with you than I'll ever be. I can't explain it, but the world changed and you slipped away. And I can't even call you anymore. I can't just stop by your house or laugh till we cry on the back porch. I don't even know where you are now. You don't know what I'm thinking of, what I've been through without you. We don't even know what we're missing. We let go, we didn't mean to. Oh, when the people you know become the people you knew. If you could see me now, would you recognize me? Or see a stranger there with an old familiar face? Could we pick up right where we left off? Or did we leave it alone for too long? I can't change that it changed, but I still need you. Oh, but I can't even call you anymore. Can't just stop by your house or laugh till we cry on the back porch. I don't even know where you are now. You don't know what I'm thinking, or what I've been through without you. We don't even know what we're missing. We let go, we didn't mean to. Oh, the people you know become the people you knew. Yeah, I can't even call you anymore. I wish I held tighter to you. Oh, the people you know become the people you knew. The people you lose. The people you knew.
That's amazing, man. The song hits home, man. It's so hard, because as somebody who's been pretty transient through like a pretty formidable part of my life, certainly through most of my 20s, and then cracking into my 30s, you meet so many people and you develop these incredible friendships or relationships or whatever. And then you move on, or you go to a new contract or anything like that, and it takes you away. And I mean, thankfully we live in such an age of social media, as I mentioned earlier, that you could stay connected with people, but there's some people that you just lose touch with, and some people that I used to sit up all night and talk to and drink bottles of wine, and and I haven't talked to them in a decade or more now. It's wild. So that the first time I heard that song, I was like, that is just heart-wrenching and so nice, because it's such a well put together story for the feelings that I've had over the years. It's awesome. So thank you so much for that request. For playing that request. That was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for asking.
Well, you guys, we only have a couple more segments here. Each week, our good friend and leadership coach, Tony Espinosa, drops us some pearls of knowledge to get us through the rest of the week. So take some notes. This is your midweek motivation.
Brad Brock, how you doing, my friend? Happy Wednesday, jams and cocktails. Hope everyone's having a good time. I'll get right into it. I'm sorry I'm not in the studio. It's gonna be a while, I think, before I get back up there. But I will make it up again soon for sure. But I'm living it right now, so I want to talk about it. And the guest is on. She's got a great story to tell as well. But we hit adversity, we hit obstacles, we fall down. We're supposed to have failures. The struggle is what makes us move on. Nothing worth having is going to be given to you. Nothing worth having is going to be a free ride. You have to fight for it. You're going to go through struggles. The problem is most of us give up. Most of us quit because it's too hard. It's too much to go through. I'm always running into problems. There's always an excuse. It's so much easier to be negative and be weak and give up and just go with the flow. You want to know why there's a small amount of people that own the companies and everyone else works for the companies? Because the CEOs never quit. They surrounded themselves with people that were doing what they want to be doing. They surrounded themselves with people that are weak, that are strong where they're weak, and they're strong where the other people are weak, and they fulfill their inner circle. And they got there by failing and learning from the failures. All right, why did that not work? And then the next time around, they make that little adjustment. So you're going to run into battles. You're going to run into obstacles. You're going to run into struggles. And if you give up, the only person you're letting down is yourself. Because one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be 60 years old and you're going to be like, man, I missed out on a lot. I should have done, if I would have done that, where would I be at today? I do it sometimes. I watch some of these cool movies, come TV shows. It's like, man, I was on that path, but I gave up because I wanted to do something else. But if I would have stuck with it, or if I would have gone back to school, if I would have tried something, or if I would have stuck it out, where would I be today? So you got to not have those. You got to figure out what it is you want to do and fight for it. Every time you fail getting there, figure out. Go back to the drawing board. Learn what it is that went wrong and make that small adjustment so you can live the life you deserve to live. And when you fight through and you break through the other side, you realize, man, it wasn't that hard, but it was so worth it. When you're sitting there living your dream, living the life you deserve, living a life of significance, and just being an all-around happier person because you're doing what you want to be doing. And you're doing what you want to be doing because you worked for it and you earned it. Brad Brock, I love you, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes. Great message from Tony. Pretty relevant to our conversations tonight. Absolutely. And as always, if you are looking for somebody to help you get to the next level in your life, personally, professionally, he's a great resource. So you could reach out to him at TonyEspinosaLeadership.com, or you could search him out on social media. Just type in Tony Espinosa Leadership, and it'll bring you right to his page. So once again, yes, Tony Espinosa. And we do look forward to having him back in the studio here. As I mentioned, it's pretty quiet here in the legendary JNC Lounge tonight. It's very quiet. I was mentioning to Jordan a little bit ago that it has been a long time since it's just been the two of us running a show in here. It's been a kind of a circus over the last few weeks or last couple of months even, right? It's
Yeah. It's nice though.
yeah, it is nice. It's so peaceful. I feel like the show goes so much smoother when it's just a little trifecta like we have here.
Yes.
Well, you guys,
Love it.
We've come to our shameless plugs version or segment of our show where we like to go around the room and talk about all the things that we've got going on. And as always, we pass the torch to our featured special guest to kick it off. So without further ado, Jordan, what's the name of this segment?
Shameless plugs.
Shameless plugs. All right, Jamie, it's your time to shine. Shameless plug away. Oh, wait, I turned her down.
Oh.
I had to pause through the video. But you're back now. Here we are.
Okay, I'm back. I would love for everybody to go check out my new EP, New Girl. It's on Spotify. It's on, if you want a physical copy, like what Brad held up to the camera earlier, you can go to my website, officialjamiefloyd.com. You can order autographed, there it is. Yes, you can order the autographed copy. I'll send you a little surprise in the mail with it if you order one. Please, follow me on Instagram. I'm at Jamie Floyd. And one other shameless plug, my new fiance, Jimmy Thau, and his band Sons of Daughters had a new video come out yesterday called Drinks Well with Others. And you all should go check that out on their Instagram. It's at Sons of Daughters.
Sons of Daughters.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's shameless plugs.
Shameless plugs. Do you have any live performances coming up, or anything like that, or are you just kind of hanging out and going through the motions right now, like a lot of us?
Well, I'll tell you. you all should. Well, I was supposed to. This is kind of sad, but because of coronavirus, I was supposed to perform for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation of the Palm Beaches, and we ended up having to move the show to next year. But they're getting ready to do a live auction, I believe, tomorrow. So right this second, I don't have their website off the top of my head, but the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation of the Palm Beaches, if you'll visit their website and maybe think about buying one of the packages, you're going to be able to buy like a private concert meet and greet with me, or you'd be able to bid on it, I mean. And just it's a really great cause, and I'm so sad we weren't able to do the live show, but I'll be back in South Florida hopefully soon to do some shows. To answer your question, Brad, I don't have any live shows here in Nashville coming up in the next little bit, only because I'm going to be traveling a bunch.
Nice.
But yeah, that's why you can check out the EP, stream the album, hit me up on Instagram. That would be awesome in the meantime.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah, we have worked heavily with Travis Suit and the Crossing for the Cure, or now it's Crossing for Cystic Fibrosis. Good friend of mine, and we try to work with him anytime we can to do events with him. So that's very cool. Look at us, small world, small world.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, very cool, and definitely you guys be sure to check out Jamie's Opry debut, which you can find on her YouTube channel, Jamie Floyd Official. Is that what it is?
Official JamieFloyd.com. Yes.
Absolutely awesome. Well, Jordan, any shameless plugs for you?
No, sir.
Yeah, no orange juice plugs today.
No plugs.
No worries. All right. Well, then it comes
Leave it up to you.
To moi. And I do want to send a shout out to Indian River Select. We used their orange juice tonight in our shot of the week. So very cool. Thank you guys.
Yes.
For donating those samples to us to do the show or to do the shot. Anyway.
Ding.
Also, as always, I would like to thank all of you again for tuning in. Please help support us even more by giving our Facebook page a like and share. Follow our show wherever you get your podcasts. And super important, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. The links to all of those are in the descriptions of wherever you're tuning in tonight, or tuning in whenever you're tuning in. So check that out and do that for us. That would be awesome. I'd like to shout out to our sponsors this week. Code Rum. Code Rum is going to change the way you drink. Hop Life Brewing here in Port St. Lucie. Our friends at the Sneaky Tiki. And, of course, Jeff at Treasure Coast Entertainment. Thank you guys for helping us keep the lights on, or at least dim. We'll take that too.
They're on timers.
They're on timers. I do have a few one-man band shows coming up here this weekend, providing, of course, we don't finally get our hurricane this year. But tomorrow night, I will be at Manatee Island in Fort Pierce at 5:30 p.m. Friday night, I will be at Hop Life Brewing. Yeah. I will be there Friday night at 7 p.m. here in Port St. Lucie. Saturday afternoon, I'll be at Costa de Este Beach Resort in Vero Beach at 2 p.m. Sunday, I will be back down in Tequesta at Blue Point Bar and Grill, and I'll be there at 7 p.m. And rounding out my work week, my quote-unquote work week, Tuesday night, I will be at Hurricane Grill and Wings in Palm City at 6 p.m. Yes. So come and say hi and hang out with me, keep me company. You can see my full show schedule and more at bradbrock.com or on my free mobile app that you can get from your favorite app store. You can practice social distancing by requesting songs at my show right from the app. It comes right to my tablet, and I'll play it for you, so long as I check it. Isn't that right, Ashley Morales? It's still a work in progress for me, but the app works great. So check that out. It is free. Also, you guys, we'll be accepting video tributes to our veterans from our viewers and listeners, as next week's show is on Veterans Day. So I will post more about where you can send those videos, and we will pick through them and play them throughout our show next week, because I think that's super important, and I'm happy that our show lands on such a cool day. So that is my shameless plugs. Oh man. Well, Jamie, it's so good to hang out, even virtually. Like, you're an absolute gem among rocks, and I'm so thrilled that we were able to pull this together. And in fact, when you told me, or you responded to me and you were like, yeah, let's do it, here's the date, I looked at Jordan, we were out, and I looked at her and I was like, we got Jamie Floyd.
Yeah, it was like the Anchorman moment.
Yeah.
Well, I made Anchor.
Seriously.
Yeah, we did. We had that moment. It's like, really?
Yeah. So good. So I'm so happy that we were able to lock it down, and I'm so glad that I was able to reach out to you earlier, because I didn't realize until this afternoon. I was just sitting and I was like, Nashville is an hour behind us. I should probably reach out and
clear that up.
Yeah, I told Jordan, I was like, she's gonna call in. Hey, we're gonna be halfway through this.
No. I'm used to all the shows now because everything is online. So I got you there, but I'm so glad we double checked.
Yes, I try to stay on my A game. Most of the time, I'm on my B game, but I try to stay on my A game at least.
You're all over it. No, it's been such a pleasure with you both. I'm so happy you asked.
Well, as I had mentioned before, next time you're rolling through town, we'd love to have you here in the lounge and get to harass you in person. It's definitely one of our favorite things to do. And but this was just as good, and I'm very, very happy that we were able to pull together. As we're winding down, you guys, I'd like to thank you all again so much for tuning in with us live. And to those of you catching us later, we invite you to join us for our live shows each Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And that is 7 p.m. Central Time. I'd like to send a thank you out to our in-lounge panel tonight, which is Miss Jordan Taylor.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Jamie Floyd. Again, Jamie, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to hang out with you this evening. Thank you so much for taking the time to tell us your stories.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And for being such an overall inspiration to aspiring songwriters everywhere in all the things that you're doing with the song therapy and championing actual legislation and change from the government to make sure that songwriters are getting their fair share. It really, really is important. So I know that you don't, but I don't want you to ever think that what you're doing goes unnoticed, because we do notice, and we'll continue to notice. And hope that you don't forget us little people when you make it big and famous.
You're so sweet. No, I'm really lucky to have all my South Florida family, cheering me on and in my corner. And thank you so much for having me. It's been so lovely to talk to you again. And I'm so happy for you too, and this podcast and everything you have going on. I hope to catch one of your shows when I'm down there too. So
yes, for sure. Absolutely. Again, we are excited to see where the road takes you from here, and we'll be cheering you on the whole way. Absolutely. You guys join us next Wednesday night at 8 p.m. again for our next episode of Jams and Cocktails live podcasts. Until then, listen to music, support local, take care of yourselves. I'm Brad Brock. Good night.